I wanted to rise today to talk a little bit about this funding mechanism that's causing all this consternation on the floor today and address specifically the idea that if we were just using general fund dollars to fight the opioid epidemic, that this would be an okay enterprise. Well, what I want to tell the chamber is we're already spending general fund dollars on combating the opioid epidemic. We are spending millions of general fund dollars on the opioid epidemic. Those dollars are being spent in hundreds of ways, both big and small. Your general fund tax dollars are being spent to operate jails and prisons that house thousands of people whose addiction have led them down a criminal path. General fund tax dollars pay for treatment beds and outpatient programs. They fund child protection work, which has exploded in recent years due to the opioid epidemic. In fact, I'd ask every member here to go to their local county attorney and ask them how their child protection caseload has grown in recent years. In the county I work as a prosecutor in Hennepin County, child protection costs increased to $122 million in 2016. That's more than double what it was just 8 years ago. In 1 year, the amount of child abuse cases in Hennepin County increased from 11,000 to 22,000 cases. And so the idea that we would make this bill better, that we would improve it by just using general fund dollars is wrong. General fund dollars are already being spent, far more than the $20 million at issue in this bill. This bill is about accountability. This bill is about ensuring that the corporations that have made millions upon millions in profits from opioids are part of the cleaning up the solution, cleaning up the mess that they created. Because the taxpayers of Minnesota are already paying. The manufacturers and distributors of opioids, the pharmaceutical companies, they're the ones who need to contribute. They are the ones who need to be held responsible. And whenever I think about this issue, I think about one person in particular that I encountered a few months ago, and she was a woman who was struggling with a terrible addiction to opioids. And I met her while I was working my day job as a prosecutor for Hennepin County. This woman was on felony probation, and she had violated the terms of her probation, and I was assigned to handle her case. And she was in custody, and it was a matter of public interest that she remain in custody because she was pregnant. And it was understood by everyone who was involved in this case that if she was released from custody before she gave birth, that she would use again, and that the child would be born addicted to opioids. And we understood that not because opioids are terribly addictive, although they are, and we understood that not because people who are released from jail are at a heightened risk of use and overdose, although that's true as well. We knew that she would use again and that the child would be born addicted to opioids because this woman had had 5 previous children and 3 of them had been born addicted to opioids. And I was relating this story just the other day to someone who works at HCMC. And they said to me, you know, it used to be the case that we would have at HCMC about a dozen cases a year of a child being born addicted to opioids. And right now that number is more like 6 to 12 a week. A week. And so, members, the costs that the people of Minnesota are paying because of the opioid epidemic are very real. They are real in dollars and in tears. This bill is not about those costs. This bill is about accountability. It's about ensuring that the companies who made this mess are part of the solution. And that's why I'm pleased to support it just the way it is.